Hey VC, it's Jack here. Welcome to Vinyl Martini. This is part 2 of my shows where I'm going to show all my bootleg records. Before I start, if you feel like subscribing, please do. I'd welcome that. And if you want to leave some comments, you know how to do that. And let's just get right into it because I've got a ton to show to finish off this series. First record I'm going to show is Lou Reed. It's a more professional cover, printed on both sides. It's called Blondes Have More Fun. Oops. It's on Sweetbread Records, 1974, Sydney, Australia, basically from the Rock and Roll Animal Tour. Great record, fantastic. Great cover art as well. Next up, these are my Rolling Stones records, and I've got a few. So this is the Rolling Stones Nicaragua Benefit Concert. It's a 1973 show to benefit the victims of the Nicaragua earthquake in 1972. Mick was married to Bianca at the time, who was Nicaraguan. Some great back cover art, caricatures of the band. Next up, an album called Stone Aged. It's a 1969 live album. It's on the Trademark of Quality label. Don't have any information about where it was recorded, but nice stereo record. This one is probably, it's called Liver Than You'll Ever Be. It's noted as probably being the most bootlegged Rolling Stones record at the time. It's on Trademark of Quality. It's in mono, and it's from an Oakland, California concert in 1969. Next up, the Rolling Stones and Exotic Honolulu, 1973 Honolulu show. Is from an FM broadcast at the time. Excellent stereo, great quality. Nice caricatures of the band there. Next up, Bright Lights, Big City. Most of these are taken from recordings at Chess Studios in 1964. And there's some cuts from a rehearsal in Montreux, Switzerland for the shows that they're for European shows. Sorry for the glare. Next, it's called Gimme Shelter, Rolling Stones. Side 1 to 3 are basically the soundtrack from the movie of the same name. And side 4 are cuts from the Tammy Show. It's on Trademark of Quality, the Pig label. Next up, I'll just slip this out of the cover. This is the Rolling Stones Seasucker Blues. It's got Seasucker Blues, Brown Sugar, Eric Clapton on guitar, and Al Cooper on French horn, Jumping Jack Flash, Love in Vain, Sweet Virginia. There's an Italian version of it, As Tears Go By, on it. It's got Exile on Main Street, so I'm assuming this is probably from 1973 tour. Next, this is an excellent stereo. It's the Rolling Stones Bedspring Symphony, a box lunch and meat whistle live in concert. Reportedly one of the best recordings of the Stones, even better than the label releases, the live releases they released on their own label. This is on Tackroll. Tackroll's always got this great lettering on, listing the cuts, etc. And they always have a cheeky comment, and at the bottom it says, "Let's all get together and buy Keith some teeth, okay? Come on." Keith used to have terrible teeth, by the way. I think he's had them fixed since. Rolling Stones, Bring It Back Alive. It's on K&S Records. This is a 1972 live performance in North Carolina. And it's in stereo. Next up, This is from 2-record set, 2 singles. It's the 1975 Tour of the America, 1975. This is part 1 and part 2. This one's subtitled Charlie Watts and His Fabulous Rolling Stones. Good mono from 1975 at the LA Forum, and it's on Slip Disc Records. Next up, excellent stereo, Baton Rouge, 1975, I think it's called Nervous Breakdown. Okay, we got through the Rolling Stones. Next up, Roxy Music. This is in stereo. It's a combination of live tracks and studio tracks. Fantastic quality. I love my Roxy Music. Again, on tack roll. Another Roxy Music album called Champagne and Novocaine. Excellent stereo again. Some 72 BBC tracks and some concert tracks from 1974. From the 1975 Tour of the United States, an album called Foolproof. Very, very cheeky cover, as per usual for Roxy Music. Live New York 75 tracks and other tracks recorded at a secret location. Roxy Music, Foolproof. Some Bruce Springsteen coming up. Bruce Springsteen, You Can Trust Your Car to the Man Who Wears the Star. This was an excellent stereo recording. It's a FM broadcast benefit for the Main Point Club in Philadelphia, 1975, just after Born to Run was released. Great record. Double, by the way. Another double, Bruce Springsteen. Springsteen Raises Cain. Stereo, another FM broadcast from the Roxy in LA. I taped this broadcast on reel to reel when it was first broadcast, and I was happy to find this on vinyl. Next up, a 3 LP box set from Bruce Springsteen. I'll show you the little cover. It's called Piece de Resistance. Recorded live at the Capitol Theater in Passaic, New Jersey in 1978. This is a numbered edition. My number is 4970. 3 discs. The box is, kept the box in immaculate shape. Great having that. Next up, Patti Smith, Teenage Perversity and Ships in the Night. 1976 recording. Must have been right after Radio Ethiopia was released. It's got Real Good Time Together, Watching the Breeze, Kimberly, Redondo Beach, The Smooth Stone Beyond, and Gloria. Very early Patti Smith. Next up, the Sex Pistols, live in Atlanta, 1978. It's in stereo. It's from their first US show. I'll just pull this one out of the sleeve because this is one of the few bootlegs that I have that is on colored vinyl. Very, very unusual for the time. Next up, this is just stamped the Sex Pistols. No idea what label it's on. But I think these are outtakes from their Nevermind the Bollocks sessions. And these are better mixes than what they released on Virgin. Excellent sound. Really punched it up a lot. I thought the label release was a little bit weak, a little bit muddy, but this is fantastic. Next up, Pete Townshend. The genius of Pete Townshend. These are studio cuts. I think basically his first solo album and studio demos for Won't Get Fooled Again and The Song Is Over is on there. Pete Townshend. This is a great Traffic album. It's live in 1970 in London. It's when he was going out as a three-piece with Jim Capaldi and Chris Wood. It's excellent stereo. It's got one of my favorite Traffic songs on it, Medicated Goo. Great find. It's on Tackroll as well. Next up, Robin Trower. Live in San Francisco, 1973. Great sound. Turn it up. Love Robin Trower. Happy to have that. We're coming up to the Who's records now. This is called Decidedly Belated Response. It's in good stereo. Taken from a live performance in Washington, D.C. in their 1973 American tour. It's got I Am the Sea, The Real Me, I Am One, Sea and Sand, Drown, Bellboy, Dr. Jimmy. Finishes off with Won't Get Fooled Again, Pinball Wizard, See Me, Feel Me. The Who. This is a copy of The Who's Zoo. It's a double album. It's one of the first professional covers. Double-sided, color. It's got cuts from 1964 to 1971. It starts off with the high numbers when they were the high numbers in 1964. On through the career through 1971, and side 4 are live TV tracks from Shindig and the Smothers Brothers. The Who. Who's Zoo. I've got another copy, just for good measure. Not as nice a cover, but I've got 2 copies of that. Take that out of the cover. This is another more professional sleeve, both sides. Nice drawings like Marvel Comics on there. I think this is, although it's not titled, I think it's called Radio London. It's in stereo, and the source is from tracks from the studio. This is Tales from the Who. Nice drawing, nice like a comic book. It's in excellent stereo. It says quadraphonic on the cover, but it's not in quadraphonic. And these are taken from a performance at the Largo Arena in Washington, D.C. Tales from the Who. Next up, Neil Young. No title, but it is a BBC broadcast from 1973 at the Royal Albert Hall. It's an excellent stereo, basically just an acoustic show. Probably when he was on tour just after he released Harvest. Some great cover art again. Nice to have that. Next, yes, it's called The Sorcerer's Apprentice. It's excellent stereo, taken from a Hollywood Bowl performance in 1975. And this is with Patrick Moratz on keyboards, and it must have been just after Rick Wakeman left. The Gates of Delirium, Your Move, Mood for a Day, Long Distance Runaround, The Clap, and You and I. Nice album. We're coming up to the end, folks. And this is the Youngbloods, called Turning on the Sunshine. Excellent stereo, double-sided, taken from an FM broadcast in California in 1970. The Youngbloods. And last but not least, the Mothers of Invention, Frank Zappa. It's on tack roll. Another great offering on tack roll. Double-sided album jacket. And it is in stereo. It's 1971 concert. Basically, a lot of the cuts are the same as the live from Fillmore East, I think. Any Zappa fans will be familiar with that record. And the other side has some tracks from 200 Motels when Frank was touring that. So, man, glad to get through all those records. Thanks for bearing with me and watching. Got some great things happening. I'm going to be visiting some new record stores in the future. So hopefully in a week or so, I'll have some new stuff to show you. I want to thank all my subscribers, all my viewers. It's very gratifying when I see the numbers go up. But anyways, thanks for watching. Till next time. See you later.